This is the P.L.U.R Podcast, Episode 2. What's up, GMP gang? It's your girl, Give Me P.L.U.R, and coming up on this episode is an open discussion on the taboo drug culture in the rave and festival scene, with special guests Stephanie, aka Mama Tempa, and Rakim. All that and more on the way. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the P.L.U.R Podcast. It's your girl, Give Me P.L.U.R. Today we're going to talk about raves and drugs. I know it's pretty much taboo. Drugs are definitely used recreationally, spiritually, all throughout the festival and rave scene, but it's like serious taboo to do it, especially since, you know, the 80s and the 90s, the rave warehouses, it's just been a big stigma that we've had and we've been trying to get away from. But at the end of the day, it's something that's a big part of the culture, because EDM music is a sensory experience. Festivals and raves are a big sensory experience. So doing drugs automatically, helps with that whole, experience. So today I decided to get two good people that I know that are in the scene, who've been in the scene for a minute. I have my girl Stephanie, who is a part of the Chicago Shufflers, and I have my guy Rakim, who is an avid festival goer, who's been in the scene for a while as well. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourself? Go ahead, Stephanie, you start first.
Hey, I am Stephanie, and I am from the Chicago area. I've been in the rave scene for about 8 years now, and since I've been in the rave scene, I picked up on a dance that I do periodically called shuffling, and that's how I made the birth of Chicago Shufflers.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead, Rakim.
All right, my name is Rakim. I am also a Chicago native, and I have been in the festival rave scene since probably 2014.
So basically what I wanted to do was to get you two on the phone, because Stephanie, you don't do drugs at festivals, but Rakim, you do. So I thought it'd be very interesting just to have, start a conversation. Me personally, I do take drugs at festivals. I just recently quit doing ecstasy because I was having some bad experiences with that. And the past few festivals I've gone to, I haven't taken any drugs, which have been a great experience as well. But once I do start back at it, I'll probably just do marijuana and like hallucinogens like shrooms and acid. But I would like to ask first, Stephanie, why don't you take drugs at festivals?
I mainly don't take drugs at festivals because I have a relative in my family that does abuse drugs, so that kind of just left a bad taste in my mouth, and I just decided to just do shows, festivals, and raves being sober, and I found myself still having a good time doing it that way.
Okay, interesting. So like basically your family member kind of left a bad taste in your mouth with like drugs. Like, is there like a particular drug that is the issue, or is it just, did that family member just turn you off completely?
It's one particular drug that I wouldn't suggest being involved like heavily in the rave scene, but just from that one drug alone, it did turn me off from trying any other drugs that is heavy in the rave scene. I mean, I have been curious about it, but since I have that memory of it, it doesn't like let me allow to do myself. It doesn't allow me to like be curious enough to try it.
Do you mind telling us like what the drug is, the specific drug?
It's cocaine.
Cocaine. Okay. Yes, cocaine is one hell of a drug, like Rick James said. Like, that's for damn sure. So, yeah, I totally understand that. Rakim, so you on the other end of the spectrum, you being way more of a drug addict than me, why do you do drugs? What's your purpose to do drugs at raves?
For me, it's just pretty much just to kind of like heighten the experience, like when you're at a set and like it just feels good. Like, I don't know, I just like feeling good. So that's pretty much the main reason. There's no other reason behind it. It's just to heighten the experience and just like have more fun.
Okay, that does make sense, because like I said earlier, festivals and raves, they're a sensory experience. So it's not just, it's the music, it's the laser lights, it's the art, it's the people, the community, and taking those types of drugs they enhance your experience. People love to enhance their experience. People love to enhance their bodies. Anything that can be made better gets made better. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the festival scene. This has been going on for a while. So, what is your favorite drug of choice, Rakim?
Okay, for me, my favorite drug of choice is ecstasy, the press pills. So I actually got introduced to press pills in Amsterdam. So I was going to college there for some time, and I stayed away from drugs for a very long time. So I just didn't want anything to do with them. Both of my parents were heavy drug users, and I saw what that did to them, and I stayed away from them for the longest time. So it wasn't until I kind of like got away from everybody that I knew and kind of like opened up this whole new world. And so that's where I kind of got started with them, and I kind of like fell in love with them. I thought they were great. I felt great, and yeah, so that's my drug of choice.
I love ecstasy too. I wish that I didn't have those bad experiences the past like few months. Like ecstasy, it feels so amazing. It's just, oh God, like I wish that it could last forever. Like seriously. I mean, I don't know if that's like how you feel about it, but like I just wish that it could last. It only lasts for like a few hours, which is just ridiculous. But like I know that for me, that's my favorite drug as well, for festivals and raves. Now, when I first did it, I did it at a rave. Back in like 2015 or 2016, and it was my first time doing it. It was at Halloween in Denver, and it was such a great experience. It didn't even hit me until I left the festival. Somebody gave it to me like towards the end of the event, and then it didn't hit me till I was in the McDonald's drive-through. It was so funny. So it was still an amazing feeling, and ever since then I was like, I'd love to do it again, and I have since then. But because we all live in Chicago, like the Chicago party scene is intense, like especially with house music. There's a lot of drugs involved with that party scene, dealing with EDM. So I was kind of taking ecstasy more often than I should have, just to party, just because I was at a concert or something, not just to have fun and get fucked up at festivals. I don't know what your experiences have been, Rakim, but like, have you ever caught yourself like doing the drugs outside of the festival and been like, oh snap, like, I need to calm down, like this should just be for like, for fun at events?
Oh yeah, for sure. So like I said, that's why I got introduced to it in Europe. And so like once I got back, I was kind of just like, oh my God, I'm never going to find this again. Like I really don't have friends in Chicago that I know that do this. I haven't introduced anybody to this. Nobody really knows kind of like where my lifestyle has kind of like turned. So I was kind of scared that I never would find it again. So I did find a group of friends that did it more regularly. And so like honestly, I slowed down a lot now, but I would kind of do it like every weekend. Like I would just be like rolling my goddamn face off every weekend, and it was just because I liked it. It wasn't because we're going out or because of this or we're going to this show. I mean, yes, we would do it because of that, but for me, it was just like, okay, I want to do it.
Now, Stephanie, like have you ever? I know you said you don't do drugs at festivals, but have you ever done anything? Like any type of drug?
Would you classify it as weed a drug?
Hell yeah.
I like smoked weed like 4 times out of my life, and like one time it was a really bad experience, but I'm pretty sure it was just the strand was not great. But every other time I did smoke it, I felt pretty good. I felt relaxed, and that's kind of what I would want to feel. So if I did ever smoke weed again, I would prefer to smoke indica.
Indica, okay. And indica, that's an interesting choice. Are you just saying like you'd do it just to do it, or will you do it at a festival or rave?
I would probably do it at a festival or rave because sometimes when I'm there, I do get a little bit overwhelmed and I do want to just relax.
See, that's interesting because for me, weed makes me more like, it gives me more anxiety and makes me more paranoid when I go to festivals. So like I have to have taken like some like drink alcohol, or taken something else, and then if I'm trying to keep going, or if I'm trying to enhance my experience even more, then I'd like hit some weed. But like I can't smoke weed right off the back for myself because it gives me like the opposite feeling or experience. So yeah, I guess that's another thing to keep in mind too, is like everybody has their own reasons for not doing drugs or doing drugs at events, and also everybody has their own like experiences. One drug might suit somebody else, while other drugs will mess somebody's like mind up and they'll never come back. I know some friends who like do ketamine. I have never done it. It kind of scares me because I've seen multiple people in K-holes. They call them K-holes. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I've seen like my friends be in K-holes, and some have, it's just been like kind of, oh my God, like they're tweaking, and other time it's been like, oh my God, like I hope they come back. Like seriously. So like stuff like that, like I don't think I could ever like handle. But like all the other stuff, like just weed, mushrooms, natural stuff, like I'm pretty cool with. I don't know, for you guys, when it comes to like raves and festivals, how do you feel about other people doing drugs? Just like you being on the outside looking in, like when you go to festivals, when you see people are like messed up and stuff, what do you think? Does it bother you? Because I know I see a lot of like posts that say like, or memes that say like, just go to the rave to like enjoy the music, not for the drugs. Like when that's like total BS, because a lot of people are doing it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are on something, and it's a big part of the experience, and it helps with the spiritual experience as well if you do it properly. So like, does it bother you? I guess I'm trying to say, like, does it bother any of you that some people are like doing drugs? Like, have you seen like some crazy stuff that you're just like,
I've seen some crazy things, but I've also seen a lot of good things. Like, it doesn't bother me at all because I know people are having a good time, and that's what I want them to enjoy, like having a good time living in a moment. But I also just want them to be careful and make sure they're with a group of friends and not wandering off alone.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I at least still want them to be safe. So I usually just be mindful and make sure everyone is all right. Sometimes I'll have P.L.U.R just in case they need it. If not, I have the tendency of just to make sure other people are fine, and if they're not, I would take them to the medical tent just to make sure that they're okay, because no one needs to be like having a bad trip or just having a bad time. So if they were alone and if their friends weren't paying them attention, then I would take my time out of the day to care for them.
So for you, it kind of brings out like the mama in you, the mama bears out there in the scene, the rave mom. So you're definitely a rave mom, Stephanie. I will say that. I do love that about you. So I guess for your experience, it brings out the good in you, and you helping people, and that's the one thing that I love about the scene is like, no matter what goes on, like the majority of the people are like good-hearted and have good intentions, no matter what. Like people are still trying, even if people are like irritated by you, they're still like nice and like trying to help you and like help you find out where you need to go, save you from like overdosing, like whatever it is. Like people are like genuinely nice. So what about you, Rakim?
For me, it really doesn't bother me seeing people do drugs. Like, I know people are there to do them, and I mean, I'm there to do them too, so that's fine. So, like,
I'm there to do them too.
The thing with me is when I see people just like really just like out of it, it's just like, okay, where are your friends? Because most of the time when the things that I've seen, they've been alone. So, for example, Electric Force 2016, actually, that was my first selection for us. And we were just waiting for a set to start. And it's pretty common to see people naked at the forest. It's pretty common. So that
Nice.
wasn't the thing that bothered me.
Nice.
So this guy just, like, came up out of nowhere, and he's, like, completely naked. But the thing was, he was just, like, being really aggressive. He was being really just, like, weird. And so, like, sometimes for me, like, I can be like, okay, he's acting like this because he's on this or he's on that, vice versa. But the way that he was acting and, like, the look in his eyes, you can tell, like, he was not there. And so, like, he started, like, pushing people. He's, like, looking weird. He's kind of, like, foaming at the mouth. And I'm like, okay, what is going on with this guy? And so, like, 2 EMTs came and tried to, like, calm this guy down, kind of, like, holding him. And he is just, like, he's resisting. He's not giving up. And so, like, at this point, it's kind of, like, scary. It's like, oh, shit, what is going on?
Right.
And so, at this point, there's literally 6 EMTs on this guy trying to hold this guy down, and they could not hold this guy down. So I'm, like, sitting there like, oh, my God, what is going on? It took them to, like, pull out a huge syringe and stick it in his neck and, like, completely, like, knock this guy out. And I'm just standing there like, oh, my God, like, where are your friends? Like, what are you doing? Like, why can't you kind of, like, pace yourself? And that's the whole thing about it for me. It's like, okay, you have to do things in, like, moderation. Like, if you're going to, like, do something that has you like that, you need to take it in moderation. Because if you go fucking full throttle and then you end up like that, like, that's not good. Like, that's kind of like how people die. And those are the horror stories that you hear. And that's kind of what gives drugs a bad life. Hearing stories or seeing things like that. So that's where I am with it.
That's pretty messed up. I have never seen anything too crazy personally.
That was like that was really fucking scary.
Yeah, like I would be scared too. More so not for myself, but just like for him.
Right.
Because like
I wasn't scared for myself. I was mostly scared for him. Like, oh my God, when this guy comes to, like, he's not gonna remember anything. Like, you know, like, it's just gonna be all just like he completely just like blacked out and then finally woke up and he's somewhere that he doesn't even know. He's probably in the hospital because they took him out. He's done. You know?
Right, and you know what, that kind of makes me think, like, I've only seen maybe one incident. There was like a girl, she was like rolling around in the dirt at Spring Awakening in 2016 or 2017, and actually I think it was 2017 I saw this. She was just like rolling around in the dirt, and her friend was like there, but she wasn't like doing too much. She was kind of messed up too, and she didn't want to, like, they were just like sitting down, but people are like recording them. Like, that's the thing that I cannot stand, is like,
and that's the thing about it.
It's ridiculous. Like, okay, so we do have like different generations in the scene, which I love. I really love that. But I think that it's important to, like, you know, we have to keep reminding each other that, yes, this is the age of technology, and sometimes things are funny, but that, like, recording people going nuts at festivals or, like, overdosing, that's, like, that really is just this a low ball move, like, that's hidden below the belt, because
that's like really immature.
It's
like,
immature. It's an invasion of privacy. People have jobs and regular lives and are like professionals outside of this, and not everybody is just like taking drugs to like be super messed up and go crazy. Some people just accidentally just take too much or have taken the wrong thing. So you recording them and putting them on the internet for everyone to see can destroy somebody's life. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just my thoughts on it.
And I just wish that people didn't record it, because it literally gives us in the rave scene a bad image.
Yes.
And I just wish people never did that. Instead of recording, why don't they just go over and check on, make sure the person's okay?
Exactly.
And that's why I always tell my friend, like, make sure y'all test y'all stuff, because there's a lot of bad stuff floating around out here. And that's why I would encourage everyone to buy a test kit, to make sure that they're taking the right stuff. Because I've had plenty of friends who took the wrong stuff, and it almost could have been a bad night.
And you know what? I'm glad you mentioned test kits, because like I was just doing a little bit of research just about like drugs in the festival scene. And there's this actual like company that is called, there's Dance Safe and Bunk Police. Have you guys heard of them?
I've heard of them. There is a documentary about Dance Safe. I believe it's a documentary involving them and the first EDC that happened in LA.
Okay,
You
now
should definitely check that out.
I am, because I was really interested in that. Basically, it is a company that allows you to bring a little piece of your drugs, and they like test it for you and let you know what's all in it, so that you know what you're taking. And I thought that was so awesome. Some people say that, or test kits would probably like promote the use of drugs, but honestly I just think that would like deter people, really, or like help them make an executive decision, because some people don't know where to get the testing kits. People are lazy, but if you have somebody who's there right before they're about to like take it, people would do it, even if they take it anyway, even though they know it's not as much MDMA in there. If they can at least like know for sure, because sometimes just being like aware in your mind can affect your whole like high. Like, because if you take something and you feel a little weird, you can start catastrophizing and then making yourself think that something is wrong when it really isn't. So it's better to just know what's in there, so you can control your mind. Your mind is so powerful. Like, you can heal yourself with your mind, so you can also freak yourself out as well. The closing out questions, because we are running out of time right here. What are some ways, because we did talk about drug testing kits. What are some ways that you could help people be safe in the rave scene doing drugs, whether you do them or not? What are some tips or advice that you have?
I highly recommend that everyone buys a test kit, and to at least educate themselves on what it is that they're taking and what they're curious on taking, and making sure if they do it, that they're with someone who's experienced with the drug, and always with that person, so that they won't have a bad trip or get lost. And also to make sure that they know where the nearest medical tent and water station is, just so they're aware of what's happening to themselves.
Rakim?
For me, the number one thing is really just knowing where your drugs come from. Like, I have been buying my drugs from the same guy for years. So I really know what he's giving me is clean, it's been tested, and it's good to go. Like, for me, I don't go to a festival looking for drugs, because, like, those are the cases where things get fuzzy and things will happen. So for me, it's just like, really know where your drugs come from. Like, I don't need to be that. I'm not that thirsty to be high to just go to a festival and be like, hey, who got this? Like, no. If I don't have it myself there, I'm not going to just go out of my way and try to find it from somebody that I don't know.
I totally agree with that. I haven't been the best with that myself in the past, but I've been lucky enough to not been given anything that has messed me up really that bad at festivals. Thank God. I have had my bad experiences, like I said, especially with ecstasy recently, but it was just enough to scare me and to get me to, leave it alone. Not enough to, put me in the hospital permanently, thank God. So, but guys, thank you so much for being open and honest and being on my podcast. I love you guys so much. You are my Rave family, and you guys are part of 2 different Rave families, which is awesome that you guys, are on here talking, letting everybody know the real dangers and just the real life experiences that you guys have had in the scene, positive and negative, because yin and yang is a part of life. So thank you guys so much for being on. And as for everyone listening out there, make sure to join my mailer list at GiveMePLUR.com to get the links to all of my social media pages and to stay up to date with everything that I'm doing. If you have any suggestions for topics for the show, or you'd like to be interviewed, make sure to email me at PLURpodcast@GiveMePLUR.com. All right, guys, peace, love, unity, respect. Give Me PLUR out.